Hey guys, so today's Wednesday, and, well, I'm Sid, as you may remember from last week, and this week's topic on transition addiction is dating while being trans. And this is Chloe, she's my girlfriend. She's here to help me out with this topic.
Now to introduce me.
Yeah, I'm introducing you right now. So she's my girlfriend, and we've been together for about a year and a half, so we're gonna talk a little bit about navigating the dating world of trans people. So I figured I'd make this video more along the lines of for somebody dating a trans person rather than for a trans person themselves, because I feel like that's just as important of a topic and needs to be talked about. So think of this as like a how-to guide on how to date a trans guy. So now that that's out of the way, I'll be doing some basic do's that you want to do when dating a trans guy, and some don'ts to keep in mind as well, because that's just as important. So, first and foremost, respect pronouns. That's one of the easiest, most important things you can do. Always use your partner's preferred name and pronouns. Whenever you're referring to them, they are your boyfriend, they are a guy, just like anybody else. They are your boyfriend. Respect their name and pronouns. And for number 2, respect your partner's dysphoria. Understand that they may not be comfortable with every aspect of their body, and you're gonna need to give them some space and respect that. Like some guys, they don't like anybody seeing them without a shirt on or with their chest out or anything. Me and Chloe, I mean, we have talked about these things, and she knows what I'm comfortable with. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but everyone is different, so respect your partner's dysphoria and realize what they have problems with, and like, if you're gonna go swimming, don't make them feel bad for not wanting to, you know, necessarily wear a swimsuit or get in the pool because they don't feel comfortable wearing a bathing suit. And number 3, be supportive. You are most likely this person's number 1 source of support, and you don't ever want to make them feel like you aren't supportive of them, because a lot of times you can be all that they have. And also have sympathy for them. Like, you shouldn't act like you know what they're going through or anything, but certainly you can have sympathy and understand that this is hard for them, and doing everyday activities that seem easy to you might be a lot harder for them. And number 4, this one's really serious and definitely needs to be mentioned. You and your partner need to have some serious discussions about what's going to be going on in the bedroom area and what they want their specific body parts to be referred to as and what they're comfortable with. Like, before you even engage in any bedroom activities, you and your partner need to have boundaries of how far they're willing to go and what will make them uncomfortable and what won't, because that a lot of times is a really big part of a relationship. So just make sure you really talk about that. And number 5, communicate with them. This goes along with just about everything else I've said. Communication is absolutely key. It is necessary to any and every single relationship. Trans people are just like regular people. Like, you can't just assume that because somebody's trans that they're gonna want the same things out of a relationship and have the same comfort and boundaries as every other trans person. You really need to engage with your partner and sit down and talk to them about what they're comfortable with, about what you're comfortable with, and just really work with them. Communicate. That is the number 1 piece of advice I can give you dating anybody in general. Communication. Moving on to some things you should definitely not do. So, starting with the don'ts. Number 1, do not under any circumstances out your partner. And this means revealing their status as trans. Like, don't use the wrong pronouns for them. Especially, don't out your partner to their family. Like perhaps you're dating a trans guy and he's not out to his family yet. You're going to need to talk with him about that and make sure that you know. So that way, if you're around his family, you will have to use his female pronouns and birth name. It's going to be hard for both of you, but if it will cause him to be unsafe in his family situation, you're going to really have to make sure that you don't out his trans status. And that also works for guys who are stealth, and that means that they pass as male in their everyday lives. You're not going to want to mention anything about him being trans, because it's his right as a trans man to decide when he wants to reveal that he was born biologically female, or if he ever does. And also, a thing to consider, you really don't want to out your partner or put them in a situation that could make it potentially unsafe for them. So moving on to number 2 of the don'ts, do not make any potentially transphobic or dysphoria causing comments. Now, that seems really simple and obvious, but a lot of times people aren't careful about what they say, and you just need to be really careful about your language. Like, if you're dating a guy, you don't want to call him pretty or beautiful. You're going to want to use more masculine terms unless he's specifically stated that he's okay with you saying otherwise. And definitely do not tell him to man up or grow some balls or anything along those lines, because as a trans man, that can be very hurtful, and it can potentially be a little bit invalidating. And so for the 4th one, I believe, number 3, whatever you do, do not make your partner feel like they are a burden for being trans. Like, you don't want to say things to them like, why did you choose to be trans? Like, why would you choose this? This is so difficult. Why can't you just be gay or a lesbian or whatever? You need to let them know that you understand that it's not a choice for them to be like this, because nobody would choose this. It's really difficult as it is. So don't let them feel like they're burdening you in any way by being trans. You're going to want to be really accepting of their transition and help them in any way that you can. And so number 4, for the don'ts, you do not want to treat them any different from any other partner, other than going a little bit above and beyond with communicating with them, because that's a really key part to dating a trans person. But other than that, it should be just like any normal relationship. They are your boyfriend, you are their partner. It's as simple as that. You don't want to make them feel like different or special in any way for being trans, because a lot of times people date people who are trans and they think of them as something special or like different, but trans people are just like any other person, and that's exactly how we like to be made to feel in a relationship. Like, I know I'm trans, I'm over it, you know. I don't want it pointed out to me on a daily basis. I am a male, I'm a guy, that is it. For the 5th one, do not be afraid to ask questions. You need to be as educated as you possibly can, but also make sure you do it in a way that's not rude, or just be respectful. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because you really, dating a trans person, you need to be educated about pretty much everything that you can as far as being trans goes. So just, don't be afraid to ask them questions, because they want you to understand. Trust me, they do. And I'm sure you want to understand as much as you can. So hopefully, in watching this video, you've been made to understand at least a little bit better some things that you should keep in mind when you're dating somebody who is trans. I guess that's about it for this week's video. Come here, you have to say goodbye with me. This is Chloe. She doesn't really have much to say, but she's my girlfriend and she's here for support. Like I said, number 3 of the do's, be supportive. This, all you could ever ask for right here. So, find one of these and keep it forever. My faithful dragon companion. Just kidding. well, about the dragon part. She is faithful and my companion, but... So, I hope you guys enjoyed our video. I will see you guys next Wednesday on Transition Addiction. Thanks guys, bye.